Hello! Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Faye Mac. If you're seeing my face for the first time, I post content about life in Canada and how to thrive in Canada as a newcomer. So yeah, thanks for clicking. Thanks for joining us live. And as you can see, I have a special guest today. I have a guest, Bola Adeshokwe, my able coach. But I'm going to let him introduce himself so that you get to know him, and yeah, let's go ahead and get that introduction in, Bola.
Okay, thank you so much, Faye Mark, and hello everyone. It's interesting when Faye Mark is asking me to introduce myself. I'm like, okay, what again do I want to say that will be new to you, or what will I say that will be interesting to your audience? I mean, it's Faye Mark, right?
Oh, please.
Anyways, my name is Bola Deshokwe. If you're from where I'm from, if you're not, you probably will go by Adi Soap or Adi Scope, whichever, whichever one is. I think I wear three hats. I want to say one is the hat of a coach who supports individuals and organizations in understanding their current state and helping them to map out a roadmap on where they want to be, whether career, whether organization, whether business, whether strategy. So that's as a coach. The second hat that I wear is that of a trainer who is driving knowledge, transfer, awareness, and all of those things. And then I am also a speaker. So I get to speak at few conferences. Oh, actually, the fourth one, I am a wannabe or gonna be a rapper. So yeah. So I've been trying my pen game, and it's not bad. It's not bad, Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have a few singles out. Where Spotify or Apple Music? I mean,
Well, actually, watch out for my EP. Once it hits the market, I'm quitting every other thing.
well, before you become a big time rapper and quit on us, I just want to let everybody know this is my own coach. Like, this is my trainer. A lot of you guys don't know what I do outside of YouTube, but yes, I'm in project management. I'm an agile project manager, and this is my coach. Literally, like anything agile project management, anything Scrum, he's just the one that I've done my trainings with, and that's why I've brought him here so that I can share him with you guys today. Like, don't say I didn't do anything for you, okay? Don't say
Cool,
I didn't do
cool.
anything for you. So yeah, this is my personal coach. But I know that you have a company other than like the other things that you mentioned, Stacy and Lloyd. Tell us a little bit about Stacy and Lloyd and the kind of programs that you offer. Because I've taken a bunch of your programs, but
Right.
just look at me as somebody that is brand new, that is meeting you for the first time. What do you do with Stacy and Lloyd?
Right. So thank you, Faye. You're always a blessing. And I thank God for the friendship that we share and all of that. And also the impact that you're making, outside of just, the relationship that you have with people and all of those things. So
Thank you.
I run a private consulting and training company called Stacy and Lloyd. Stacy and Lloyd. And in Stacy and Lloyd, we have three practices. We have the consulting arm. Again, the consulting arm deals a lot with organizations, small, medium scale, who are trying to transform their operations, transform their delivery, transform their way of working and processes. The second practice in Stacy and Lloyd is the academy. I guess that's where a lot of people watching may be interested in. So the academy is not a training institute. It's not a training company. It's a career transformation company.
I
And what
like
that
that.
means is we do not just offer PMP or Agile. We actually help to understand where you are and where you want to be. And we tailor our programs to actually address the gaps that you need to bridge to be able to get to where you are. And a lot of people that come for some of our programs have said at the end, like, oh my goodness, there's been a 360-degree change in my knowledge, my understanding, and my confidence about this new career. We've seen people who magically is the word that I want to use, but that's not a right word, who have had their career transformed. Like we're talking about folks who used to be maybe in sales or in marketing, and they come through our program and we build our relationship, and after some time they're now working as maybe like scrum masters or agile project manager. So it's really a career transformation program, and we run courses around business analysis, project management, agile, scrum, and say both certification and hands-on.
Oh, awesome. And I know that you have some programs coming up this June. I feel like you always have programs. Like
Yes.
you're very busy, you're always having programs. So I
Yeah.
know you have some in June for Agile Project Management, Scrum Master certifications,
Yes.
and what else?
And then there is also the PMP certification. So
The
there
PMP
is,
certification.
yeah, there is the Agile Project Management, like really hands-on, rigorous, intensive, robust, and immersive program that
Yep.
doesn't just teach you the theory, but goes deeper than the theory, the tools, also hands-on project. And when I say hands-on, I'm not talking about capstone, like let's say you are
Mm-hmm.
doing this or can you this and that. No, no, no. We're talking like real project that you actually get your hands dirty and you play
Yep.
some of like those roles. So that's that. Then there's the PMP bootcamp, and there
Yeah.
is the safe certification as well.
Yeah, awesome. And out of those three that you mentioned, I know I've done two of them. Because I
Yes,
did the Agile immersion program where
yes,
there was role playing and you act
yes.
as a Scrum Master, and then I also did the PMP training with you as well. So yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah, I'm
absolutely.
your regular customer.
No, you're my own girl. You're my own girl.
And even continuous improvement, like knowing
Mhm.
that you have to keep up with PDUs and everything, like just keeping up with trainings. Yeah, you're my guy for that. So yeah, you guys,
You're
if
my
you
celebrity friend.
no, so you guys, if you're interested in project management and becoming a scrum master, if you don't really have tech skills and you're looking to get into technology, the technology field without having to know how to code and all those things, which is, those are some of the things that I thought about too when I was trying to get into tech. Like, I don't want to code. I'm not really interested in coding. What can I do that is going to be something that is attainable and achievable for me that I can succeed at, right? And truly, literally, Bola has been there from the beginning to like even now being a senior project manager today. So yeah, you're a big part of my journey. So I can't even take that for granted. And
Yes,
because of that, because I had to, I've been on Bola's neck. What can you do? I'm always sending people your way. And now I've been able to get a coupon code. So if you want 10% off Bola's trainings, Mac is the code to use when you're going ahead on that website. Stacy and Lloyd. Is it stacyandlloyd.com?
yes, stacyandloyd.com. Exactly.
Okay, stacyandlloyd.com. When you're booking your sessions and your programs, use the code Mac to get 10% off. Don't say I didn't do anything for you, okay? I didn't get those discounts, but I'm bringing them to you, so that's the best part.
Cool.
Okay,
Cool.
so let's move on to a little bit more about why people are transitioning to tech, because that's something that I'm a bit curious about. Yes, I transitioned to tech. I'm one of those people, but why is it so attractive? Why are people transitioning to tech?
Yeah. So technology is changing the way that we work. Technology is changing the way that we live, changing the way that we interact. And those technology, although people say they are automation, but they are still people, they are still talent, they are still skill set that are needed to manage and to support those technology. And because of the advancement, because of the need to constantly leverage on technology, because of the way that technology is revolutionizing the way that we work, there's constant demand for people that will work with those technology, that will support those technology. A lot of people are saying AI, GPT is going to take all of your job. Do you know what? There are people that are actually training ChatGPT. There'll be people that will continue to manage ChatGPT. And that's the reason why, a lot of people are thinking about technology. And just as you said, yes, those technology require technical skills, but there are several roles that surround that management that surround the support, that surround the implementation of those technology that we see. And then I think it pays well.
Well, yeah, I think that might just be like the icing on the cake, or like the extra little bit there. Yeah, I completely agree. Like, technological transformation is just never ending.
Yes.
Companies are always looking for ways to improve their processes and their products and services, so technology is just technology. That's just the way of the world right now and for
Absolutely.
the foreseeable future. Okay, so imagine I was a non-technical person. So, for example, I've just, come from Nigeria. I used to work at a bank. You know, I've just always been a branch person, not even like the technology arm of the bank, like just being in branch, attending to customers. How are those skills transferable? For me as a non-technical person, how can I actually thrive or transition to tech?
Yeah. So tech has two parts, I want to say, maybe three, but I'll stay at two. The first part is the technical part of tech. That's like the people that are actually writing instructions and telling the system how to respond or how to behave. There is also the other part that is non-technical, that is more of interpersonal. Those are the people that are supporting the interaction between those people that are writing those instructions. Those are the people that are making the environment that those people work optimized for collaboration. Those are the people that stay between the business and the people that are actually writing those instructions. So when you want to play in that non-technical space, there are several skill sets. There's several capabilities, there's several competencies like communication, like emotional intelligence, like stakeholder management, like conflict resolution, like facilitation. Those capabilities and skill sets you are developed and you are used extensively as a branch manager. Those you have used while you were working in operations. All you need to do is what one of the things that we do is to do a skill gap assessment to see how some of the skills that you've developed can be amended to be able to make you suitable for those non-technical roles in tech. For example, like project manager, like business analyst, like scrum master, agile. Those are non-technical roles, but I interact a lot with technical folks, and they use a lot of those soft skills that are everywhere, wherever you're coming from, whether sales, whether marketing, and all.
Right. So whatever field you're coming from, you're saying that you will have some skills that are transferable and that can help you thrive in tech.
100%, 100%. There may need to be some because of context, and a lot of time context matters. You may need to tweak some of those skill set to be able to make you plug into that new, like operations. You're talking to people, you make sure things work. Here, yes, you're going to be talking to people, but it may be in a slightly different context. But those skill set are like the bedrock of what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And then maybe just add like on top of it, like the principles and the processes in that, tech. For example, as a scrum master, for example, and you are the boss of this one, you do a lot of facilitation. If you've had to facilitate meetings while you were in operations, it's sort of like the same facilitation. A developer in your team has an issue and they are coming to you as a scrum master to help them to address that. If you've had to resolve conflict or address issues as an operations manager, you can literally do that. Just some little nuances and the principles that govern that, work that you need to just, align with. But it's like the same thing. They're like the same thing. And I tell, again, I talk too much, right? I tell a lot of our guys, like when they say, I don't have a lot of experience, like it's a lie. How can you say that? Don't say that. That's discounting the abundance of experience that you've built. You need to customize it. You need to, tailor it. You need to adjust it, but don't discount those things at all.
Yep. And for some people too, I think that, and this happened to me really, it was when I started all these trainings that I realized like, oh, I've actually been working on projects. I just didn't really know the definition of a project.
Yeah.
So do you find that a lot with your clients?
Oh my God. Oh my God. When we're in Agile, like the Agile Immersion Program, and we say, okay, so, each team will be doing like the daily stand up or daily scrum is for 15 minutes. You just sort of like synchronize and you're like, wait, we used to do this thing like, we just gather together, guys. So what's the target for the day? And then at the end of the week, everybody will just come together, our end of week, we just present what we've done. That's like sprint review, right? Oh my
Mhm.
goodness, I used to do this. Exactly. Just try to understand the context and the terminologies and the principles that surround that new stuff. But don't you ever
Absolutely.
think that you don't have any experience.
Absolutely. That makes complete sense. And especially for those of us that are like immigrants to Canada, coming from a country like Nigeria, where like the environment has taught you to be dogged.
Yeah.
There's no situation they will throw at you that you won't be able to handle.
Yes.
So to me, that's a plus. Like I tell recruiters this all the time. Like if you see somebody that had a successful career in Nigeria, trust me, they can handle anything that you throw at them.
Yes.
It's just because Canada, everybody's nice, everybody, people run away from conflict. It's like if there's a conflict in front of you, after experiencing the work environment in Nigeria, you will know how to resolve it. You just
Absolutely.
need to now learn the principles around it and be able to speak the language, because
Yes.
that's the key thing too, right? Being able to speak the language to be able to
Mm-hmm.
land that first tech job.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you've mentioned some jobs already. You've mentioned Scrum Master, you've mentioned Project Manager. What are some other roles that people can actually consider when trying to transition to tech?
Yeah. There's also like, business analysis, which is like really, really good as well. Business analysis is perfect. There's one that a lot of people haven't really woken up to, customer success. And
Hmm.
I know like people like, is that customer service? No, no, that's not customer service. That's sort of like customer success. I haven't seen a lot of traffic or attraction in that, but that's another one. There's some area of data that doesn't require programming, and I'm being careful to say this, like reporting, visualization. You're in the bank, you've worked extensively as a salesperson, you've used Excel, you've created models and projections, and you like Excel. You can literally flow into like data analyst, reporting analyst, visualization, and all of those
Hmm.
things.
Nice. I actually am starting to see people consider customer success because it's just now getting that buzz like
Yeah,
project management and Scrum. And
absolutely.
then I think another one that I'm seeing pop up more now is content writing.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
they're just so imagine someone that's a copywriter. You've been in advertising, you've been in marketing all your life. Content writing is pretty much
yeah,
very similar,
yeah.
right? It's just that now you're in the tech space.
Absolutely. Content writing, content design,
Hmm.
UX writing, not UX design, like, the wireframes and all, like UX
Yeah.
writing the interactions and the instructions. Because again, like we said, a lot of things are riding on technology. And it's not so much about really the technology right now. It's the interaction that people have with the technology and the experience that they have when they're using the technology.
Yeah.
And those are like the roles that will help to make that interaction and experience really great.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the soft skills that are required for these kind of roles. Because again, like these are in the tech space, but not all like very technical, right? So what is it about you that you need to have for you to stand out from the crowd, for an organization to hire you as a project manager? I like to tell people, yes, my background is communications. My master's is in public relations, and I'm in project management. Yes, but 90% of my job as a project manager is communications.
Yes.
So yes, I studied mass communication. Mass communication
Yeah.
in Nigeria, if you say you study mass communication, they'll look at you, are you trying to be a journalist? Well, 90% of my job today is communication.
Yes.
So what are like, can you expand on how important that skill is and maybe other skills that people don't even realize, like this will really help you in the tech space.
Yeah. And if you remember, the first skill that I mentioned was communication. Communication makes the world go round or makes the world tumble. You know,
Hmm.
the good book says soft answer, like it's just the way that you speak. Soft answer turns away wrong.
Hmm.
So you cannot overemphasize communication. Whether you are a business analyst, whether you're a project manager, whether you are a scrum master, whether you are a customer success, manager, you cannot overemphasize communication. There's also emotional intelligence. We live in a diverse world. We live in a multicultural world, a world where there's abundance of culture, and we need to be able to, and again, this is also part of communication. We just need to be able to know how to, one, present our ideas, present our opinions, and express them in a way that, one, they are clear and they don't send the wrong message, and at the same time they don't, like, make the other guy feel bad. So that's
Yeah.
communication big. There's also emotional intelligence, awareness of yourself
Hmm.
and the other people.
Being able to read the
Very
room.
exactly, being able to, like, know when to act and when not to, how to deal with people, how to meet them at their own level.
Mhm.
That's really big. There is, and when we say communication, is speaking, is writing, is listening, is reading,
Yeah.
non-verbal. There is also, yeah, I know someone put, like, prompt engineering, the ability to ask the right kind of question. There's coaching, there is mentoring, there's several soft skills, conflict resolution, that you will need as a non-tech person to be able to thrive and succeed in tech.
Yeah. Awesome. Now let's talk about certifications.
Yes.
Certifications are a big deal in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find them to be a big deal. Fine,
Yeah.
I got my first project management job without the certifications, but my journey was
You're
not
an, you're an
really.
outlier. You're a rock star. You're
Yeah.
a rock star, right?
My journey, the way I did it, the way I maneuvered was just different. So, but the typical person, it seems like certifications are so important. Like even at my organization right now, they want you to have PMP, they want you to have CSM or PSM if you're looking to be in project management or as a scrum master. So, tell us about some of these certifications and why it's so important for people to invest in themselves.
And I think that, again, this is my opinion, and I hope, and it's from my opinion from my interaction and all of that. The reason why certification is a big deal is this. I worked for about 7 years, maybe six, maybe five, outside of North America. You came in pretty early. A lot of our other guys had, like, extensive experience outside of North America.
Yeah.
The big banks, First Bank, GT Bank, the big telecoms. But these guys in North America don't understand that. They don't really know those guys. So they can't really understand your experience from those organizations. So they rely on something that is universal, something that is global, something that puts a stamp of approval on your knowledge and your
Mm.
experience. And that's where the certification comes in. If you say that PMI, Project Management Institute, a global organization for project management, has tested you and they say, yes, you're a project management professional, I'll believe that than you saying you worked in ABC Bank in South Africa, if I've never lived in South Africa. And for South Africans, I just use that as,
Yeah.
as an example. So that's why, there's that big deal around certification. And
Yeah.
I apart from that also, a lot of our experience may not be like best practice or leading practice.
Mm.
Certification sort of helps you to align or realign your experience and your knowledge.
Yeah.
It gives you that requirement to be able to when you get into the job, do the right thing. And for non-tech guys, you mentioned those certifications. If you're thinking of project management, I think you should get PMP certification, standard. I, interestingly, wanted to get into project management and I wasn't getting any traction until I got the PMP certification. And 2 months after, 2.5 months after, I got a PM job with a local consulting company. So that's good. It's very robust. PMP for project managers. If you're thinking of Agile, Scrum, CSM or PSM, and SAFe. SAFe is also like really good. If you're thinking about business analysis, CBAP, Certified Business Analysis Professional, those are like really good certifications that you should invest in. But I'm going to say something. Don't let that be the only investment that you make. Also try and see how you can get some hands-on. Try and see you can learn some of the tools that are being used.
And that's very important because as a project manager, as a Scrum Master, you can't, I feel like there's some roles that you can kind of get away with not really knowing those tools before starting the job. And then you kind of learn on the job. But as a project manager, Scrum Master, you're driving and facilitating these meetings. You're sharing your screen.
Yes.
You don't want that to be the first time you're using that tool.
Yes,
you're sharing
absolutely.
your screen. Your team is going to know, especially if you're in an organization, maybe you're working with, people from different countries where culture is different. Some of them will call you out, like, don't you know how to change the name on that card? Or can you move? You have to learn how to use the tools before you go jump into the pool. So these are some of the things that Bola's trainings will help you with.
Absolutely.
Right? In addition to just working on a real life project and role playing so that you get into it, you get into that groove. And to be honest, one thing I'll tell you is, as somebody that worked in a big 5 bank here in Canada, our Nigerians that transition to business analysis, project management, and other tech roles here, they are killing the game in Canada.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. They are literally rock stars. People that came from banking or, some of these other large corporations in Nigeria coming here, bringing their fresh perspectives, their fresh knowledge from things that they've worked on in Nigeria that were not even classified as projects, but actually fit the definition of projects.
Yeah.
They are killing it in that space.
Yes.
So yeah, I wanted to, mention that just in case you're listening to this and you're wondering, is this really for me? There are people that are just like you that have invested their time in trainings and in getting those certifications and are thriving in those roles right now.
Yes. 100%.
But let's talk about growth potential.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I become a project manager if I'm not sure what the trajectory is like, right? Is it like maybe start as a junior or a project coordinator if I don't have prior experience, or maybe I'm lucky enough to get a project management job because of the experience that I've had before? What is next after that? And after that, what is next? What is the possibility for us?
I've said this before. As a project manager, you are on the track to potentially becoming a CEO. And I'll explain. Right? I'll explain. You get in as a project coordinator or as a project manager, you can get into senior project manager. And then if you want to continue in project management, you get into program manager. And then when the organization has like a PMO or a center of excellence, you are like the head of that. And every project that changes the organization, every project that helps to deliver on strategies are under you. So you're working very closely with the board of directors. You're working very closely with strategy. And, in no time, you're like, hey, in a C level, and, you can get into that. If you don't want to continue in the project management, line, you can go into product. Again, a product manager is like a mini CEO in their own. because they have their P&L. They probably have like, their organization that's centered around this product or the product that they're building. Project manager, really, you're working with people to be able to develop a product. You can literally just get into like, product manager, senior product manager. Now organizations are having chief product officer. One of the greatest talents, young talents in Nigeria, Shola, the guy from Paystack, was saying, what, I'm a product guy. I just want to build product, man. Like that's what I want to do. Like, I'm a product guy. I'm just here to, when you lead product or you lead project, you can go on and lead organizations.
Okay. What about business analysts? Does this also apply to business analysts and others in the area?
Yes, absolutely. So business analysis can go in as whatever, junior business analyst. There's really nothing like that. Business analyst, get into business analyst, and you can decide how you want to go, whether you want to get into product. Most of the time, I've seen business analysts move and grow into product owner role.
Yes.
And product owner, product manager, and then you're up on that.
Yeah. So it's really like an endless, there's no, you could end up being the CEO of the company at the end of the day. Imagine working on so many projects that have transformed and helped the organization grow, and then working on the products, and at the end of the day, the ins and outs of the organization, their operations, their processes, their products. Of course, why not go for that CEO top C-suite opportunity. So yeah, that's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about money. Let's talk about the salary ranges for business analysts. You're excited about this one. I am too. Yeah, money is a big motivation for a lot of people, right? Especially with current inflation, being in North America right now is not cheap. So what are some of the ranges for, business analyst roles and project management roles, even products, any information that you have on salaries? Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yes. And I just realized that we have not mentioned product manager as a somewhat non-tech role. Like product management is big, right? Don't even start. Let's not even start. Anyways, there are, most especially within North America, there are two models that are being used. There is the full-time permanent model where an organization hires you are on their payroll, they are responsible for, all of the benefits and all of those things. And then there's the independent contracting model where you're kind of like your own boss. They have like a 6-month, 1-year project. They bring you in, they pay you all your money, you do your taxes, X, Y, and Z. So let's look at those two roles. So the first model, the full-time permanent, as a business analyst with some appreciable years of experience, you can get as much as, and I'm going to give a wide range, from say anything around 80, 90K as entry level to up to like 150, 160, 170K. And then you can continue to grow from that.
Hold on, let me just clarify, because a lot of people ask me these questions when I mention numbers. This is Canadian dollars and this is per annum.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Canadian dollars per annum. If anybody wants to say, and again, depending on how you're able to sell yourself and your experience, if anybody wants to get you in at a lower rate, say 60, 70, if you take it, you're probably blinding yourself onto how much more you could have earned. I guess what I'm trying to say is that's not you can earn way more than that. For a project manager, again, depending on the industry, you can get in at say 90, 100K, and then you can go as high as 150, 160, 170, per annum. Product managers are slightly higher than that I have seen, because, for big organization, product is sort of like what runs their model. And then when I say product, I mean like whatever, product service, productization. That I see like, 110, 120, and then going up. For a Scrum Master, from about 100K above. So that's for annual. If you're doing like the independent contracting model, That's where the big bucks is, right?
That's
Um,
where the money is.
you can right now BA, PM, Scrum, you can get like $100 an hour, $150 an hour, work like 7.5 hours a day or 7.25 a day. It depends on how you're able to negotiate and also the industry as well. But I guess what I'm saying is there's really no cap to how much you can command, and also the lot of things that you, the lot of dollar that you can get in from those roles.
Right. No, that's good because let's talk a little bit about permanent and contracting because I know I've mentioned that contracting is where the money is at, but also it's still a conversation you have to have with yourself
Yeah.
as per with permanent you get the benefits, you get health benefits, dental, vision, anything that your organization is offering you. You get pension,
Yeah.
probably stock options, all those kind of things. With contracting, you're literally getting your pay and
Yes.
sick days, vacation, all those things are a luxury, right? So you kind of have to weigh your options, especially for someone like me. When I'm looking at an organization, I'm looking at their parental leave benefits. Do they have maternity leave top up or
Mhm.
paternity leave top up? Those kind of things I would have to be permanent for, right?
Yes.
So yes, contracting is where the money is at, like I said, but both of them have their pros and cons.
Yes.
So I just wanted to put that out there. We have a
Absolutely.
question from Fei Show. Fei, are you my namesake? I'm like,
How
ah,
can Felice show be on Felice show?
it's too funny. Okay, so where can junior PMs work volunteer jobs?
Um, so a lot of structured organizations hardly take volunteers for two reasons. For two reasons. When you are volunteering, you are not 100% committed to the work, most especially if they are not really paying you. And if you're not available, they cannot penalize you, they cannot question you. So they give you a junior PM role, volunteer role, and you're supposed to meet a deliverable by next week. And then you come and say, you know what? I just got a permanent job. I'm leaving tomorrow. Or you're like, I don't feel well today. I cannot come in. They can't really do anything to you. They can't really do anything to you in that case. So they want to get in with you, we pay you, and we have like some terms and conditions and all of those things. And also they don't know where you will go tomorrow, so they don't want to expose their strategy to you. You will get a lot of volunteer work with some non-governmental social enterprises. I know
Yeah.
there is a portal, depending on where you are, Volunteer Toronto, I think,
Okay.
where those organizations, again, not-for-profit organizations, just go in to say, oh, we're looking for this person, we're looking for that person. You can get that. The other thing that I will share with you is there is a company now. This is not volunteer. This is internship. They are called Career
Okay.
Edge, and they're around in Ontario. Career Edge helps you to get internship, paid internship, although it's stipend, paid internship with a lot of these organizations. A lot of banks go there and they will hire you for like 3 months just to see, just to test. They pay you, but not the market rate. And then after that
Okay.
3 months, they can decide like, oh, you want to convert you.
Well, that's good because then you get an opportunity to learn on the job and they know that you're a trainee. So
Absolutely.
it's less pressure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you
Absolutely.
for sharing those.
Sure.
Okay. So how about someone coming from the agricultural field?
You know what? It doesn't matter where you're coming from. I'm serious, right? It doesn't matter where you're coming from. Um, just know where you want to go and try and identify how much from the agricultural field that you have that you can take to the next place, and the things that you need to be able to get you into that. For example, agricultural, and you want to be a project manager in the agricultural field, you've probably been managing people and all of those things. You probably have like, oh, we want to launch we want to take this thing to the field or to the market. So we create like a schedule of when someone will come to pick it. Literally just transfer that to managing non-agricultural projects. You get what I mean? So it doesn't really matter where you're coming in from. Faye
Yeah.
was a mass communicator. Someone will typically think that Faye is going to be on TV, but hey, Faye is now senior PM, big babe. You know what I mean? I've had folks
Yeah.
who are in sales and marketing and pharmacy, and they're now in, so it doesn't really matter, I would
And
say.
Bola, can we talk about nurses transitioning to Scrum Master roles? I've seen a lot of nurses recently in
Yes,
Canada that are
yes,
transitioning to Scrum Master roles, and they're doing
absolutely.
very well.
Absolutely.
So, with agriculture, you probably have been managing projects and not even knowing that those are projects. So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, with project management, and this is what I like to tell like anyone I'm having a chat with about the industry, I'm an expert in project management, not an expert in agriculture or in whatever domain or subject matter that we're referring to. I'm a project manager, and that's one thing that I really like about my experience in banking, because they can literally take you from one project and put you in a project that's completely different from what you did before.
Yeah.
So your goal is to deliver the project, right? So who knows? Maybe when you come in, you could actually get a project management job in the agricultural sector.
Yeah.
You never know. Farming here is big. That's food, right? Like it's big. It's even beyond food. Even marijuana industry right now, cultivating marijuana, like they hire project managers. So you never know like what opportunity would come. It's project management is so broad.
Yeah.
Agriculture is just one of the things that you could actually be a project manager in. And yeah, it doesn't matter what field you come from, like Bola said. I feel like the only industry that is kind of picky about project managers having that domain experience is construction.
Yes.
And
Because of my country. Yeah.
in recent times, I've actually been seeing construction companies hiring PMs that don't have PNG.
Yeah.
They just don't put them on, things that will put them in trouble for compliance. But yeah, they've even actually started hiring people without construction experience. So yeah. Next question. Any tips for DevOps and cybersecurity?
Um, another interesting career that I see is vibing, or people are vibing to, is DevOps and cybersecurity. Quite frankly, I don't know a lot about cybersecurity, but I know that there are a number of programs that are available right now, some in universities, that you can leverage. And
Yeah.
if you say any tips, I will say, if you're just starting, try and look for people who are already in that space. If you're trying to get into project management, I am going to be following, Faye, who is already in that space, maybe like have a coffee chat to understand, the day in the life of what are the things that I need, and then get some training, get some education. And that those will be my tips, but I don't really understand that space, quite honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know that there are some organizations that are kind of investing in sort of scholarships or like free programs for
Hmm.
people that are trying to get into cybersecurity. So maybe just Google that. I tried to Google it now. I don't really have the time to search well now, but just Google like free cybersecurity programs in Canada. I think there are some that will come up and I think there are also some like targeted at women because they're trying to improve uh uh the interest of
Inclusion.
women in cybersecurity. So look into that as well. From your name, you might not be a woman, but you might like for anybody else that is wondering about cybersecurity. For females, I know that there are so many programs that are there free of charge to help you, or at least at subsidized costs.
Yeah.
DevOps, the teams that I work with now as a senior project manager, they're DevOps teams, DevSecOps, but I don't really know much about like the actual becoming a DevOps manager or a DevOps engineer myself. I know a few trainers that I could bring on. So if you want me to bring someone in that is going to focus on DevOps and maybe cybersecurity and a little bit about product management as well, then I can definitely bring one of my other coaches in that field. Not my coach because I'm not in that field, but people that I know have amazing trainings for that. Anyway, moving forward, can you share some insight on digital business analysis opportunities and remuneration?
Yeah, I think we kind of covered remuneration
Yeah,
a little. Again, a business analyst, you're probably just focusing or working on digital transformations and digital technology. It's sort of like the same thing, right? Try
yeah,
and understand the that competency. Try and develop that skill set. Try and learn those tools and get like a mentor, someone who is already there that you can always reach out to bounce ideas of, and yeah, that's what I will say.
yeah. And somebody is asking about chemical engineering and geosciences. Where do they come in here?
Oh my god, quantum. Again, that there are fields that folks in chemical engineering and geosciences can literally just move into. If you want to still stay around that, I really don't know. But if you're just looking at anything around tech, I would say to
Yeah,
you, it doesn't really matter whether you study chemical engineering or geoscience. Just identify the new career path that you like. There's really
yeah,
nothing that you cannot do.
yeah.
There's some skills that you've developed there that you can transfer.
So I know of someone who had a chemical engineering background and did some work in Nigeria in like the food development sector, and then moving to Canada, they were hotcake
Yeah.
because there are a lot of factories um and a lot of marijuana organizations, like I said before, marijuana producing organizations that are trying to infuse CBD into several kinds of products, into body products, hair products, all those different kind of things. And if you're a project manager that now has that chemical engineering background, that really helps you stand out for those kind of industries. So I know I don't there are not a lot of people that I've seen with this specific experience, but yeah, they exist for sure. And I think I even see some postings about it too. Like I see, and I know I'm mentioning marijuana a lot in this field, but it's a big industry in Canada, and they hire project managers that have this kind of chemical engineering background. So I'll leave it at that. uh uh so I'm not sure. Okay, so yes, Bola does train people for scrum master positions, if that's what you're asking. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but I think that's what you're asking. Yes, he does trainings, and we've mentioned them already. He has courses that are running this June in scrum master, well, for scrum master and agile immersion programs.
Okay.
He also has a program for PMP. So if you're trying to pass the PMP exam, he also has a course for that. You know, like passing PMP and having experience in project management are two different things.
Yes.
Passing PMP, you have to train and study for PMP, not for what you do in your real life project management. So yeah, he has a course that is specifically tailored to help you pass PMP. And yeah, I'm always seeing testimonials of all your customers, all your clients, passing PMP left, right, and center. And
Yes.
it's just like, yeah, I love it for you guys. That's amazing. That
Yeah.
was me a few years ago.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. You were the first in your cohort, I think. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
always trailblazing.
Thank you. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Fisai, Feisha, you're asking about the cost. I posted the link in the chat, so you can just click on that link. After the live, I'm going to post it in the description box of this video as well. And hopefully by then, Bola would have put my Mac code in for your 10% off. I
Yes.
don't joke with that. I'm all about the saving money, right?
Yeah.
So please get our Mac code up and running so that our people can get that dollar off.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Any other question from the audience? Please let me know before we wrap up. But But thank you so much for joining the show. I've
Thank
been thinking
you.
about bringing you on for a long time, and it's just been timing and thing after thing. So I'm glad we finally got a chat to bring you on. I told you this was going to be
Absolutely.
30 minutes, and it's 50 minutes. Thank you.
I talk too much, right?
No. See, like even me, I'm learning, and I've been in the field for years now, and I'm still learning from you. Like
Yeah.
I have Bola on speed dial, you guys. Like anything, I'm just like, what do you think about this? Do you have ideas for this? Like that's the kind of coach he is. It's not just one and done. You pass the exam, bye. No, he's still there. I remember an interview that I had for my first major project management job. I had a case study interview, and as soon as I came out of that interview and got into my car, who was the first person I called? Oh my God, I don't know if I answered this question correctly. This was the case. This was how I answered. What was that right? Was that good? And he's like, yeah, you got it. And I got that job. So
Yes.
yeah, I can never forget, how we've gone year after year. So thank you so much. You've had a great impact on my career. And I hope that you continue to do what you do. You said in the beginning, it's not just about transforming organizations and introducing tech. It's also about transforming people. I picked
Right.
that up from the beginning when you
Yes.
mentioned you're trying to make sure that you're transforming people to be the
Yes.
best versions of themselves and thrive in the tech industry. So thank you very much for all that you do.
Thank you.
So yeah, Feishayo has a last question. Is he living in Canada? Yes, we are both in Ontario, Canada. Right now, we're like 30 minutes away from each other. We
Yes.
could have done this physically, but life is
Absolutely.
virtual is good as well. Yeah, we both live in Canada, yes. And the course is, I mean, you don't have to be in Canada to take the course, right,
Yeah.
Bola?
Yeah. Absolutely. It's online.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
leveraging technology.
Yeah, exactly. So you can take it from anywhere in the world. You don't have to be in Canada. Okay, well, thanks everyone for joining. And Bola, again, thank you very much for joining. And
Thank
yeah,
you,
I'll chat with
Shirley.
you offline.
All right then.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.